Hello everyone, Miss Borkin here. I just wanted to take some time to go over briefly what your bibliography is and spend a little bit of time talking about how to do background research. So just briefly on the bibliography, it's just a list of any resources, books, videos, websites, magazines, encyclopedias that you look at for information when researching your project. For the science fair, the requirement, the minimum I should say, is 3. You can always have more than that, but the minimum is 3. 3 is a good number to get a little variety in your research, but 3 should also not be too overwhelming. So 3 seems like a fair number of resources that you can include on your bibliography. The background research, there's a few reasons we do that. The first reason we do that for science fair is so that you can design an experiment in the best way possible. So rather than starting from scratch, a savvy investigator will use their library and internet to help them. Right? You want to find the best way to do things. A lot of you have already done that. You've found websites or videos that you're using, and they're giving you ideas about how you might do the science fair. So that's one purpose for background research. Another is to help you understand the theory behind your experiment. So what science, what concepts have to do with this experiment that you're doing or are related to the experiment that you are doing. I've tried to break down the process of doing background research into 6 steps. So here they are. The first one is the purpose, which I just kind of talked to you a little bit about. The purpose is so that you can set up your experiment and connect it to science. So the second step is really to identify some key ideas, terms, concepts that relate to what you're researching. The third thing you'll do is find and scan articles, videos, magazines, books. Spend a little time here, but still you're scanning. You're looking around and you're seeing what's out there. Once you've chosen some, like an article or a video that you're like, yes, I like this, you will read or watch this closely, and I chose capital letters here purposefully because this is a really, really important step. You really want to make sure you take the time to read the article. Watch the whole video. This will give you good depth of understanding so that when you go to step 5 and you're ready to write your summary, you can do so with your own words. Because you've read so much that there's no way you're going to repeat it all word for word, because that would mean you have unless you have a photographic memory. But otherwise you're going to very naturally use your own words because it was a lot of information and you're just summarizing. You're welcome to quote from the videos or resources that you read, but make sure you correctly cite them. And then your last step, once you've written your summary, is to edit. This might be where you have someone else even take a look at it and see what they think, give you a little feedback. So I want to go through these 6 steps as like a little example here. This is kind of something I just made up, so bear with me. It's a little bit it's not something that someone actually did in my class. I just just for this demonstration here. So number 1, step 1, purpose. Well, I've kind of given you that. It's for your science fair project. So once you have your testable question, you're going to do your research so that you know how to do the experiment well, and you can connect to some science that's related to this experiment. So this is a sociology experiment that I found on Science Buddies, and it's called How Do Our Clothing Choices Affect the Behavior of Others Around Us? So the experiment kind of goes like this. People stand, let's say, for example, outside of a grocery store, and you're dressed very formally, maybe like this guy here or this gal over here. You look like you're, to the nines for a business job type situation. And you ask people, you approach people and you say, oh, excuse me, can you tell me the time? And then maybe you have someone recording it, or maybe you just have a journal that you reflect in after the interaction about how it went. And then you dress more casually or take on some other wardrobe and kind of do a little comparison, and you do the same thing. You're, again, kind of standing maybe outside of a grocery store or something, and you approach people and you say, "Excuse me, can you tell me the time?" You know, you want to keep that all the same. The only thing that's different is what you're wearing. And then again, you could record it on video and make notes later, or after the interactions, you could just write it in a journal to kind of see if clothing really affects the behavior of other people that are around you. So that's kind of the idea. So you have your testable question, you have your experiment, you start to think about, what does this have to do with science? And again, this is a sociology one that I picked from Science Buddies. And one of the sociology science, social science concept is nonverbal communication. So like communicating with others, but you're not using words. So I have my purpose. I've identified a topic that relates to my testable question. Again, this can go a lot of directions. So talk to me if you want some help with picking out your big idea, but there could be a lot of things that you look at. Then you head on out to YouTube, Google, library, maybe you have some books at home that you're using. Scan them, look through them, see what's out there. Then eventually, hopefully, you'll be like, ta-da! I found something that I like, yay! And you can actually use it. So I found two things. I found this video, and you can just click on it if you want to watch it. And then I found this article, 4 Reasons Why Kids Should Pick Out Their Own Clothes. And I am actually going to read this article, though the video is really good too. I just think if I read this article, I'll have enough to demonstrate what writing a summary looks like. So 4 reasons why your kids should pick out their own clothes. So there comes a time in every parent's life when it is time to stop picking out clothes for your kids and let them choose their own. Though it can be difficult to let go of this sense of control with your son, you will eventually decide that the time is right for them to make more of their own decisions in this regard. There are many positives associated with letting your kids choose their own clothes, including they can express their opinions. Choosing an outfit for the first time is about so much more than simply picking something nice to wear. It also gives your kids a fantastic opportunity to express their opinions, likes, and dislikes. Of course, you may find that they have totally different taste in clothing than you. Remember, the first few items that they choose are all about experimentation and finding their style. They can be individuals or fit in. When kids get to a stage of picking out their own clothing, they are usually also developing a sense of individuality. So when you give them the opportunity to pick out items for themselves, you are encouraging them to gain a stronger sense of self. At the same time, when many kids are picking out their clothes, they are looking to fit in with friends and other kids at school. They may also want to imitate people that they see on TV or sports stars with clothing like Jordan Retro 11 sneakers. You could also help your kids clarify their decisions by asking them what they like and the reasons they are drawn to these clothes. You know they will wear the clothes. It is extremely frustrating to go out and buy some clothes only for your kids to refuse to wear them. But once your kids are choosing their own clothes, you have a much better idea that they are actually going to wear the clothes. Not only this, you can put an end to those morning arguments about what they are going to wear. This is all part of passing over responsibility from yourself and encouraging your kids to have more of a say in the decisions in their lives. It's fun. The final reason why you should entrust more responsibility to your kids to choose their own clothes is simply that it is fun. For them, they are discovering a new freedom which they didn't have in the past, and for you, you are seeing your son or daughter taking steps towards becoming a man or woman, which is always an incredible thing to witness. So this is the article once again. It was written on May 15, 2018, and looks like it's from a website, buildingboys.net. So maybe this one's geared more towards the gentleman. So once you've kind of decided on your articles that you want to use, and you've read them and watched them carefully, you're ready for your summary. So I might even start by getting that website again, because that's a way that I like to start a summary. But again, you can kind of do this your own way. But in an article by, who was the buildingboys.net, and I'll just go ahead and insert that link here. So remember, you can just hit insert, link, paste, apply, and then it's there. So in an article by buildingboys.net, it argues that giving children freedom to choose their own clothes has definite benefits. One benefit is that it allows them to show their identity. They can choose clothes that reflect things that they like and are interested in. Also, it can be a good step for them to become more independent. Okay? And you can, go on and on with your summary. But that's just kind of a start of one. And then I might find another video or another article and kind of talk about it. So again, if you just kind of read it and then whatever sticks with you should be part of your summary. Like, I don't remember every single little detail from that article. I can certainly go back and look at it again. But I'm just kind of taking the big things that stood out for me, is that this whole idea of identity and who they are. And I think that's a big part that kind of goes with my original topic anyway, nonverbal communication. So I might even add that. My topic is nonverbal communication. And it would be important for a young person to show who they really are through the clothes they choose to wear. That could be why some kids don't like to wear clothes others pick out for them. And you could, obviously you'll mess around with your fonts and you could make another slide, and there's a lot of things to do, but this is kind of the gist. Read the article, read it carefully, link it in your summary, and then just kind of review or reflect on the things that it said. I don't have a direct quote from this particular article, but you might find one that you really like from an article and you can use it. You could put it in there. And then the final step is just to edit it. Look at it again. I wrote it here, edit, but we don't really need that. So in an article by, kind of read it through, it argues that, I don't know, I kind of did this quickly, but you get the idea. Once you have it all together, reread it and make sure it sounds good. And yours should be, again, a bit longer because you'll have more than one single resource. But this is just a demonstration of how you might go about putting together that background research, connecting both to your experiment, but also to the larger world. So I haven't talked too much about my experiment yet, because I'm just talking about the concept that relates to it. this idea of nonverbal communication. What am I saying to other people through my clothing choices, not my words?